Hi, guys. Whoops. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're very prepared and ready for this stream because I sure am. I sure am very prepared and ready for this stream. Yes, because it's my job. It's sort of my only job. So I'm not all prepared or ready for this stream. I accidentally fell asleep after work today. So I got nothing. But I do have Vibers. And Court Vibes is not me. It's all of us together. So today, you guys are going to run the show. I'm just going to show your videos that you put in place videos here in Discord. All right. Ozzy says this one's a good one from MI. Is that Dan? Dan, is that you? You never answer me. But you're Dan, aren't you?
Let me get some dates.
Hold on. Go to YouTube, please.
Great here. Mr.
No, I'm not downloading it. Oh, for
Murphy, you've been in it.
And all it's holy. We're not doing that video because there's no link. Fozzie put one. This is from Mrs. Fields, Court of Public Opinion. Love her. I really, really do. Yeah, I have a private chat with her and another person, and we never talk. We're there sometimes. We used to talk. All right, this is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. You want to know how I know that? Because she's a freaking professional. And she puts it right in her clip. Oh, you can't see what I see. There. She's a professional. So that way when people say, when was this? And I say, I don't know, a week ago, 2 days ago. I have no idea. She says, I got you. I got you. You don't even have to ask me questions. I already know your questions. Here's your answer. Me, I'm like, I don't know. Stupid question. Leave me alone. Good job, Mrs. Fields, making the rest of us look good. Thanks. Thank you. Everything's crooked. So you know my internet issues yesterday with my brand new internet. It was the cats. It was the freaking cats. It wasn't their fault, but it was their fault. The power supply cord that they gave me was faulty. So every time you touch it, my internet would go out. And for no reason, way over in that corner where nothing is, the cats kept messing with that cord. And that's when my internet kept going out. I have too many cats. All right, let's go. Fozzie says this is a good one. So this is Fozzie's pick.
You wouldn't be able to do that in court. Go ahead and take that cigarette out your mouth, brother, if you're going to be on court. Or we'll just remove you and you got to come back. Man, y'all really lose y'all mind, man. Y'all make somebody like me who's normally calm. I don't understand. But hey, your actions reflect how you think. Mr. Gray, unmute.
Yep. Okay. Go. Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go. All right, Mr. Kaba, is this a written
Just grabbing
this
link real quick.
Written, please.
So I can thank
Okay,
her.
when was that? When did you guys first enter into it?
It was entered on October 26th is the date on it. The term of the lease was from November 1st, 2024, going forward for 1 year.
Okay. All right, how much is monthly rent?
$12.95.
Is there a late fee?
Yes, sir. 10%, which is $129.50.
When's the last time the tenant paid rent?
We've got a December partial payment. December balance is $445 outstanding.
Okay, and so you've got 445, and you got January, February, March, and then now if I were to give you writ of possession, 22 days in April. So
Correct.
3 months plus 22 days.
Yes, sir.
And plus that 445. All right. And then
the late fee for January, February, and March.
I don't. Uh-huh. All right, Ms. James, tell me. I understand you indicated that there was some. You filed your answer here. Tell me, is the rent $12.95?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is the late payment $129.50 that you know of?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, I'm not looking at the lease, but that's what he says. Yes.
Okay, so tell me about when's the last time you made a payment?
Well, I gave him the payment. The last payment, like he said, was partial payment, but I just moved there. Nothing. I haven't even been able to use my bathroom. It's been leaking in both
The link to this video and then her channel is also in my description. Thank you, CJ.
bathrooms since I moved there. And
Okay.
and I'm talking about the windows. I had two $500 excessive $400 electric bills 2 months because all of the windows are broken and it was
Okay.
just like
Okay.
20 degrees in and out.
Okay. So the windows are broken. So when you tell me the windows are broken, like there's a hole in them. There's
No,
windows?
you know when you slide when you try to slide it up, the whole window drop down. So the whole top is like it's open with no screen.
Okay. And how long has it been like that?
It was like that when I moved there, and when I told him, he didn't respond to me until I didn't pay him the rent because I never was able to get comfortable. I didn't have lights. The whole thing blew on Thanksgiving. I had my family over there on Thanksgiving. I just got a table in there, and then the lights went out. The whole
Yep.
living room,
Do you know why the
went
lights
out.
went
He
out?
never addressed it. He sent somebody over there the next day. I mean, well, not the next day. Well, the next day, yeah, Friday. He did send someone over there to fix it, but the whole Thanksgiving,
I
it's
got it.
like,
Well, I
it just
mean
was,
that
I
I don't
never
know if
was
that was
able
an
to.
intentional act by him, obviously, but my
What do you mean? You look at the apartments before you rent them? Michael, you're weird.
main concern then is the
Crazy.
window. Tell me, Mr. Kaba, tell me about the what window?
All
So
of them. Sorry.
basically, windows were hard to open and close because these are old windows and
Uh-huh.
probably the paint issue. So I sent the guy out and he fixed it. And she claims that it is not fixed. Now I sent the person went over there, he billed me, I paid him, all that 9-yard happened. And she is claiming that that is not true and it hasn't happened. Well, if it did not happen, why she never called back or put the work order in the system?
Well, when was the work completed?
Work was completed in December.
Okay. And so there was an issue, but you're saying it was resolved. Okay. So Ms. James, when did the window get resolved, if at all?
They never got resolved. We never even I told him about the windows in a text. So that's so untrue. That guy came in, he painted.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, you said all of the windows do this. All of them. There's a window right behind you. It looks like the top part is clearly the whole way. It's fine. Maybe you should show us the window. You're right there. Walk over to the window.
He painted the tubs because the tubs were filthy. And he said he was going to fix the floors. When I moved in there, I didn't realize.
Well, hold on. Let me focus on the window.
Okay, the window. Every window, not just one window.
When all your windows are down.
Yes, all of them are. They
Tell
need
me
to
I'm
be
down right. Are
replaced.
you home?
I'm not home now. I'm at the airport. I couldn't leave out of the airport until I
That's
finished
why
this
the
call.
windows are working.
I understand. He's saying that the windows aren't broken anymore, and you're saying all your windows. So how do you secure the spot?
I put nails in there to try to hold it up, and then I taped around it.
Okay, so they're not down. They were down, but they're not down anymore.
Right, they're not down, but it's still they still it's not sealed. It's cold in there. I'm talking about I have to sleep with 5 covers and all of the heaters,
I got it. But you're saying there's a draft with the windows the way you got it.
Every window, the one in the living room,
and you said, what did you say
about
what did you say about the bathroom? You say they leak.
They've been leaking since I moved there. He knew that. And he told me to call. He told me I need to call code enforcement. Why did I need to do that? I rented the place from him.
That's
and it's
true.
been like that since December.
So tell me though, when's the last time you paid though?
I paid him. I gave him $3,500 up front. like the two
That's
months,
not what
whatever.
I'm
And then
asking.
no,
Listen,
I'm
when's the
I'm
last time you
sorry.
did?
I paid him, like he said, I paid him that price. I gave him 800 of that,
Yeah.
which I still was not able to,
I love this judge. I want to go out for a cup of coffee with this judge. I love this judge.
live in there with the water leaking everywhere. You sit
When
on
you
the
say the
toilet,
water
his water is dripping on me.
Okay, so do you not use the restroom there anymore?
I couldn't use the bathroom in my bedroom, the master bath. I never took a shower in there because it always was leaking. I got a bucket in there now.
Okay, so Mr. Kava, do you know about the leak issues that are happening in the
Let
bathroom?
me explain you what the situation is. These are condos. So upstairs condo we don't own. We own the downstairs where she is living. So there's some kind of a leak that comes when somebody takes a shower upstairs. What I have been trying for last 3 months to go in to open up the ceiling so that we can find out the actual problem and get it fixed, whether it is fixed by us or the owner upstairs. The problem is she does not allow us to get in. I have been to that place at least 3-4 times. I've knocked at the door. I've asked her to open. No
I
answers.
just started right
I've
now.
texted her. I have called her. No answer. Mr. Terrell, who is the code enforcement officer, he has been there twice to go in. And the reason I asked the code enforcement to come is so that he can see it and he can ticket the upstairs person to fix his bathroom. So that is not happening. If I cannot get into the apartment, I cannot fix anything. And she has a huge 80-pound dog, which she claims that it's an emotional dog, which she has never provided me the proof of it.
She's lying. She's lying. She says she can't sleep because she's too cold. Lies. That's a lie. She has an 80-pound dog.
And we cannot get in whether she's there or not because of the existence of the dog. So we are not able to get things done. If she would allow us to do it, we will go and get it fixed. It would be a minor fix.
Well, so listen, obviously, and I just want to be clear, Ms. James, you haven't paid rent sometimes. So there's going to be a writ. It's just about what's the offset, because we got the window issue, but it seems as if you've been able to rig it, but it still isn't perfect. But more importantly, there's a leak that's just been ongoing that can't be resolved or hasn't been resolved because of what's going on. I think that's problematic because that will make somebody's water bill go up. That will make it uncomfortable and not have the full enjoyment of the property. And over that span of time that she's there, at least of these 4 months that we're really talking about, she's been dealing with that. So what I'm going to do is this: I'm going to give consideration of that, because that's ultimately a bathroom that can't be used and it's completely. And also, you can't comfortably use those rooms.
I am dying to know if Lyons is here for landlord tenant. Because from what I saw of her ceilings, that's a nice place. She lives in a nice place.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the numbers here.
Oh, I'm not going
to. So that total judgment then is what that's total judgment's going to end up being. Bear with me here. That's going to be $4,718.16. That's consideration that we give about a couple $100 for every month that the water issue, because that just includes the inconvenience and also any increase in water. So that money judgment is going to ultimately be $4,718.16.
Maybe
the writ.
I'm sorry, cut you off. All right.
No. The writ will be on 4/22/2025 at 11:59 p.m. Okay.
Can I say something, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
He agreed to let me out the lease, and we both part ways. But then, he's saying all this stuff he's saying is so not true. Me and him never talked about nothing. He didn't want to talk about money.
I give you consideration for those things in spite of that. So tell me what else you're concerned about.
The electric bill, I paid over $1,000 in 2 months in an apartment.
No, she didn't.
And that's why I'm giving you credit in totality of $950 over the span of the time and associated with that.
Yeah, but he agreed that we both can part ways.
I don't have an agreement. I don't have an agreement. I have that you now.
I have it in a text message where he said it. He
I
said what
know,
he's saying is not true. I have it
but
when he
that's not what you're
text.
doing now. That's not what you're doing now. And if y'all couldn't reach an
I
agreement in
really like
mediation, this is where we
I
are.
really do.
I mean, you gotta tell me something different.
It's everything is wrong in that apartment. I'm talking about you. Both bathrooms are messed up, not just one.
Yes, but
One
the
of them is really leaking bad. The other one is
Miss
the other
Jane,
one.
Miss
I'm
Jane,
sorry.
let's just be honest. It's not uninhabitable. I'm not an unreasonable man. If it's uninhabitable, I'm gonna say it's uninhabitable. But if it's habitable, you live in there, you taking showers there. That's a habitable spot. You haven't paid in a couple of months. I get it. It's not ideal, but it's a habitable spot. You're gonna owe some money. And if you haven't paid any money and it's an offset, then there's gonna be a writ. I'm not trying to be unreasonable, but that's what it's gonna be.
Right. I gave him a security deposit as well, too. So
The order. You go. I'm gonna let Mr. Kaba go. Y'all are free to go. All right.
okay.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you. Let's get both Lions up here. All right. Let's start with
No.
Astra Lyons. Miss Lyons, is this somebody you're related to? Y'all
Yes,
just happen to
this is
have
my
the same spelling. How you related?
We got
This is my sister.
That's your youngest sister.
Yes.
Y'all listen. This is great, but not great. So tell me, I see here on the complaint you say that she owes $1,800. Do you guys have a lease?
We do not have a signed lease.
Well, hold on. I can talk to one line at a time. So Miss Lyons,
We came
don't have a
into,
lease. Okay.
no, when we first communicated with each other, we had a verbal agreement originally, where I stayed.
I could not imagine a fight with him. I cannot imagine like him fighting with his wife or anybody. I cannot imagine a fight with him. He takes it down immediately. As soon as someone gets slightly robbed, this judge is amazing.
That all she had to pay was a cable bill, which was roughly around $200, $250 a month, because she was only staying for 3 months. But to answer your question,
when was this? When did this first start?
this was when she first moved in July
Of last year.
Yes, of last year. This is when she first moved in July. As time on, the agreement was 3 months. It has been 10 months now. So as time went on and bills accumulated, when we had discussions, I basically let her know, this is moving forward. This is how we're gonna coexist. I need you to pay more. She actually have 7 people in my house. I have a cat, a dog, 2 adult children, 3 teenagers, and her baby father.
That's a lot of folk.
All right. And they moved in July, and all the adults in the house lost their job a month later. Right before August, everybody lost their job.
This sounds like a Tyler Perry movie, honestly. This is what it sounds like. I'm not even playing, but I'm playing, but it just sounds bad.
It's lovely.
It sounds
here right
bad.
now. What
So
are you talking
so
about?
listen, is there any monthly rent set?
It is set right now. It's $250 for my
Hold on, younger Lions. Let me hear from older Lions. Tell me, what's the monthly amount?
I sent her a text message. I said, for here on out, you will pay me $500 a month. You will pay your half of every utility. Because before I limited it because I'm trying to help her save so she can move out my house.
Do you live there too? I take it this is not a house you live in.
This is my house that this is a mortgage that I'm paying on this house.
You live
Yeah,
there
but you're not. I can tell you're not living in this house.
Oh, I am.
You living in this house too?
Yes.
Gee.
It's
Do you have any
chaotic.
do you have any children that live
I
there?
have
as
no
well?
children. None.
Sister. Okay. All right. And when did you give her this text about the $500?
I gave her this text. 1 second. I'm bringing it up.
I would love to see what would happen if me and my sister were in the same room, more or less the same house. I mean, I think about it all the time. I would love to see what would happen if we were just in the same room.
Now, so originally we had a family sit down, and then I decided, hey, I'm just gonna, because she kept saying, I want something, I need something in writing. So let me
I
take
got it. Yeah, okay. Tell me when.
And the text was on the, I'm getting to it. It's a lot of information in here. Text was sent to her on the
I'm rolling.
On the 20th of December.
20th of December. And
I
what
said
did
for
that?
January, moving
Uh-huh.
forward in January, since you're still here, you haven't left yet, because I've told her several times I want her to leave.
You say, tell me, just tell me.
You
disrespectful.
can leave.
what the
Just
text
leave.
is.
So I said
You
these
do it.
beers are getting ridiculously high, so we are going to have to work together to reduce them. I've already paid $200 on a water, light, and gas bill. You and Kevin are responsible for making sure the remainder of $201 get paid to reduce all unnecessary and those unnecessary plugs in the wall in your room needs to be unplugged. Basically let her know I don't leave my TVs, certain things plugged up that's not
I got it. I got it.
bringing up the light bill.
Tell me about the 500. Where it says 500.
It's a long text.
Tell me
Okay,
where it goes to
Chartable,
500.
going
Tell me
down,
where it
basically
says
telling her
500.
that, so starting in January, I need 500 per month or 250 twice a week. You and Kevin should be splitting the cost of bills.
How is tomorrow, JK?
Okay.
HOA
All right, Paul.
fees are
Paul.
$750 a year. Y'all
Hold
have
on. Oh, Ms. Lyons.
Okay.
Pause. Okay. Has she paid you
Mhm.
since then?
The only thing she's giving me when September came, she decided that she wanted to double
September.
up on a bill that was
September.
already
You talk about,
accumulated.
no, wait.
Yes.
September is before January. Let's talk about January 4. I don't care about that because you didn't send her a text. And even then, I'm a little iffy on the text, but let's just say everybody's fine with that.
Aren't you in tomorrow? Yes, you are. CJ, you're in tomorrow. JK's with you, right? You guys are in tomorrow. Yay. Yay.
What has she paid since that time, if anything?
Now we had a conversation several times before the text, and I just decided
Okay.
go ahead and send her.
And I'm going to
text
tell
because
you
she
why
keep-
I think
she
that's
keep acting like she don't that I sent her this information. So January came.
I can't hear anything you're saying.
I'm sorry, Young. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so January,
Almost tomorrow.
she sent me $250
Mm-hmm.
on Cash App. That was it.
Okay.
February, $300,
Mm-hmm.
and then $100 towards the light bill,
Mm-hmm.
the gas bill. That's what it said.
Mm-hmm.
And she spent in March $200,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of March sent me $5 to cover her April bill and also the loan that I gave her in September for her storage.
Okay. And she sent you money in March as well.
CJ, quick question. Do you think where JK lives, it's bigger than Texas? I'm asking for a friend.
Yes, but from September, October, November, and December, I did not get rent.
Okay, well, let's not talk about that because that really may not be relevant. You didn't even really put it in writing exactly what you wanted. And I don't know if even the text will suffice, but let's say, for instance, it does. All right, let's look going forward from there. She's giving you some money, and the last time you've gotten some money from her is when? What day?
The last time was on the 20th of March.
20th of March. Did you send her a demand of possession?
On the 28th.
28th. You sent her a demand of possession on the
Bigger than
20th. Hold
Pennsylvania.
on. Miss Lyons, did you send her a demand of possession? Astra Lyons, older sister Lyons.
Yes.
Okay, and when did you do that?
I filed it in demand of possession. You're talking about the warrant, right?
Well, no. That's why I give all this information up front, because what I'm going to explain to you so you guys know why I'm doing what I'm doing so that you can get it right. First things first, you don't have an agreement with somebody and it's oral, that's fine. But let me stop. Miss Lyons, do you acknowledge that you got a text from your sister indicating that she wants you to pay $500 a month for rent going forward?
So I do. So like she said, it's a lot. She did verbally sit down with me and my partner and in her million text message about us starting to having to pay her $500 a month, $250 from him.
Fozzie, you don't even know how much that hurts my feelings to say, because I am in love with this judge. Head to toe, I'm in love with this judge. He's a YouTube judge. Why is he a YouTube judge? You know, I can get Texas off of YouTube where no one else can get them. And he has to go on YouTube. We'll see. I just can't stand when I play clips and people are like, oh, I saw this. This is about to happen. Shut up. Just shut up. I don't know, Fozzie. I really love him. Maybe.
$250 from me.
That's not what it is.
And half on the light bill.
Mhm.
Was no other utilities included.
Okay.
And with that also, I was giving her when I got my food stamps, I would give her
Break her off. I get it. I get it. Listen.
And so,
listen.
but Mark, I didn't give her
This is what the text message say, Judge.
Well, I can't read it from that screen, so just hold tight. Miss Lyons, Young Alliance, please continue.
So she let me know my food stamps don't pay any bills, and I still am required to do as she said. So
we do feed you.
My partner lost his job.
Okay.
And that she said that it's $250 from me, $250 for him. I paid her in February. I paid her $300 in February, and I paid her $300 in March. Those are my rent. And then March 20th, she sent me a text message saying, pay me the $500 or else.
When you drink alcohol, all flags have multiple stars.
Y'all gonna have to go. So March 20th, I sent her the $500, and she let me know that it is from the loan that she gave me.
So that was in response to this letter. So you got a text from her, pay me $500.
Or else. Y'all got to go.
You gave her $500.
Gave her $500 March 20th, got served for the warrant.
Ms. Lyons, did you get $500 from her on the 20th?
Yes, Your Honor, but we got to go back. Me and her actually.
No, we don't have to go back. We don't have to take
a physical altercation. We got into a fight in my house. She attacked me in my house.
Listen.
I called the police and I filed a police report.
Ms. Lyons, do you have a TPO?
A TPO? No, I don't. This happened when she first moved in.
I know, but you talking about stuff 6+ months ago. I'm talking about since January, since you sent her a text.
I'm talking about I filed this claim on a fact that she hadn't paid bills, she hadn't paid rent. I had to take out a loan, at least $5,000 to pay my bills because the only thing she want to pay is that little bit amount for 7 people being in my house.
So Ms. Lyons, I'm not sure. So let me tell you what I'm going to
I've had to take out a loan.
Ms. Lyons,
my lights have been shut off and turned back on. Exit
for me.
Yes.
Ms. Lyons. Let me tell you first, I understand. Let me tell you, I appreciate you trying to make sure your sister's not on the street. I appreciate that. And I'm not even part of your family. But what I'm expressing to you is I'm not a part of your family. Therefore, all of the other stuff is not relevant to me. I want to know what I can do to justify making a decision that's according to the law. The issue is,
I understand it.
No. I don't want to hear all that. I want to tell you what the law has to say. The law has to say that one, when you accept money, particularly, where'd she go? She disappeared because she didn't want to hear what the law had to say. Let's hold tight and see what happens. We'll see if she comes back home. All right. Let me look at position 15 while we wait and see if she comes back home. Is that Miss Lyons?
Yes, my device went out.
No worries. Can you turn your camera on and unmute? Turn your camera on for me, rather. All right, we're back. So listen. All I wanted to say to you is this: when you sent the demand to her, she paid you the money that you demanded. That's problematic because you cannot then subsequently file an action against her. That alone will get the case dismissed. I understand when you're with family, you want to be cool and we want to try to make things as less stressful as possible. I understand that. I'm not admonishing you for that. I know most people don't want to have to put a contract on their brother or sister to be able to confirm because they don't want to have to do all that. You don't want to evict your sister. That was never your intent for even putting her in your house. But what I'm expressing to you is when you come to the court, unless you're going to reach an agreement, I have to rule on the law is despite the way that the family situations may look, despite the fact that it may not seem fair. You understand? So
Okay. I do have a question though.
hold on. So I'm just going to give you some law. If you want to have a contract with your sister, it can be oral. But if you want to have, and if you don't, you're going to make sure that you follow the law to make sure that you get her out. Nobody's trying to make this a villain, but if you're going to use the law to get someone out, it doesn't care that that's your sister. It doesn't care that it would be anybody. I've had mothers evict daughters and vice versa. It don't matter. So, but you got to follow the law. That means if you're going to want her out, you got to give her an appropriate demand of possession. If you want to breach the contract and say you want to cancel the lease, you got to give her appropriate notice. But I do it by the law. If that's it. If it's a situation of violence that's occurring, call the police. If somebody gets arrested, that's a different scenario. But we don't have that present, and I don't want that to be present. But if you're going to use the court, you got to follow the law. All right, feel free, Miss Lyons, Miss Astra Lyons.
The point is
easy. Her problems are so easily solved. You don't even know. All she has to do is go home and start yelling at her. Just start yelling at her. Clean this up. Pay me this. Pay me that. Just keep on it. Keep on it. Keep on it. She's going to hit her. She's going to turn around and hit her. She's going to turn around and hit her. No problem. Then she can get a TPO and then problem solved. No courts involved.
I want her out my house. She refused to leave. She has caused chaos in my house. She has ran up my bills.
So if you
now it's got to the point where my livelihoods is at stake. I'm actually paying. I'm depleting my bank account.
I get it.
My
I don't want you to do that.
Get it. And in order for me to keep my job.
But wait, hold on a second, real quick. If she's out, which she should be out, understood. You still owe all those bills. You chose to purchase a house you can't afford to live in. I don't know.
My credit has to be in good standing. She's jeopardizing my livelihood.
I understand. So if you,
I don't want an agreement with her. I want her. Like I'm fine with her staying until April because she's paid her bills, but she paid her for the month of April. But I want her out of my house.
Okay. Well, listen. I'm going to give you one last consideration. If you guys want to reach an agreement, there's a mediator right here. Y'all can talk about it.
I don't want to agree. I want her out my house.
Well, then let me tell you something. You're not going to get her out today because you don't have an agreement because you didn't do what the law required. I can suggest to you that you can have a conversation because
we've had a conversation. It's my house. It's my house. It's my bills that I'm paying. It's my bank account that I'm depleting. It's my livelihood that is at stake. Because when she leaves, she gonna go on about her business and not gonna worry about me.
So Miss Lyons, I think that you don't understand because I'm not your attorney, so I can't tell you exactly what's going on, and you don't understand the impact overall of what you're
with the eviction process. That's the whole purpose.
But it'll be dismissed
not to
because
me anything.
You didn't follow the law. Miss Lyons.
I filed for pass through rent. She did not pay me.
The case will be dismissed. You can figure it out on your own since you don't want to listen because your emotions are into it. I'm trying to guide. I'm not even trying to guide you. I'm trying to tell you what the law is so that you know what to do so you won't have to come back.
But the law says she can tell me she can stay in my house and not pay me anything.
The law says if you don't get it right and do the appropriate process, you'll get the case dismissed. Doesn't mean that you can't come back and redo it, but today it'll be dismissed.
But if she got her note, if I sent her an email and text message, this is what I expect moving forward. Now I'm at the process.
Miss Lyons, you're now wasting my time because I've already told you why I'm doing what I'm doing. I've gone through a long process to make sure that you understand, but you can't hear me because you expect an outcome despite not knowing and following the law. So now I have no more. I have no more patience for you because you don't want to listen to me. So I'm going to let you go, and you can refile and follow the appropriate law. I've tried to make sure that you understood why the court.
What is the appropriate law when I have already sent it in writing? What else do I have to do, Judge? Because it's not making sense.
You accepted money after you demanded. She gave you exactly what you demanded. So I'll let you be gone, and you can refile when you understand the law and follow it appropriately. Miss Lyons, younger sister Lyons, you're free to go. Older sister Lyons, you're free to go as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When you look back at this, you'll realize that you didn't listen.
She assaulted me in my house. I have it on record.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Kendall and Miss Leon, go ahead and unmute for me and turn on your camera. Leon.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Yep, turn on your camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to press here, Your Honor, but somehow does it not, I don't know why it's not clicking here. I'm trying to, my pictures on the top here, trying to click and, oh, the ghost has a video. Okay.
Is that
Hmm.
English?
Okay.
Ah, hey, there you go. You guys both raise
What
your
was
right
she
hand for
saying?
me.
I want to know.
Yes.
I'm going to start with Miss Leon. Give me 1 second, and we'll get to you, Mr. Kendall. Miss Leon, tell me, do you have a written or oral lease with Mr. Kendall?
Yeah, do you need me to speak up? Do you need me to speak up, sir?
No, I hear you. Do you have a written or oral lease with Mr. Kendall?
Yes, I have a list with him.
Do you know when it was entered into? What month and year?
Sure. I don't remember.
You don't remember? Was it 2024, 2023, 2025?
24.
Okay. Was it in writing or was it oral?
The writing.
It was in writing. Okay. How much is monthly rent?
700.
Okay. All right. Is there a late fee?
Yes, I do.
Your late fee.
10%.
Okay, $70. When's the last time Mr. Kendall paid you or some source paid you on his behalf?
Okay, over here say he's a text me here. March 13. I have a text message. March 13. March. I told her I gave her notice to move in January, February. I'm not going to accept the rent. So I was not home. He came trying to pay March rent. I said, I'm not going to accept anymore. I give you 2 months notice already. It's been going through too much drama here. So, and he paid me anyway, put him through jail. I said, I'm going to give a notice. I want to move. So he wouldn't listening. This is a business. So I give a notice on his door. And then I said, I'm going to file eviction on the 7 days, please. Either way you go, gotta go, please go. So he ignored, he didn't go. So then in the 7 days passed, and I went to courthouse to file eviction. And then, I said, do not depart anymore. You know, I'm not going to work with you no more, I'm done. And then, he texted me, okay, I'll owe you March rent, $450. And then, so he deposited on my jail $200. So March month is $250 he owned us. So.
Okay, so let me just get this right. When did he give you this $200 in March?
Yes.
When?
Oh, there's a March 13. He deposited my. No, March.
How many of you in this chat have a house ready? Like if I were to get kicked out of where I'm at right now, I have a house immediately ready. I could just go there right now if I wanted to with all my stuff. I already know how much I would owe. I already know everything. I have it nailed down perfectly.
March, not before that. I think March 3rd. I don't remember, sir. March.
Sometime in March. Tell me
March
why.
3rd or 5th, so he paid, yes.
Okay, so tell me why you're demanding in your complaint, you're looking only for $550. Why is that?
Maybe.
When is the last? So did he?
Oh yeah, he texted me. I'll owe you. You know, I couldn't keep up with him because he owed me. He told me I paid $200. March month is $700. He said I paid $200, and then I owe you $500. So I thought $500 owned it. Now I did it. I received a text message. He said, "Oh, $450. Then when did you?"
So he paid. So he paid rent for January and February. Then.
You know, he just making numbers, everything. I don't know how much he paid. I'm very sick. I cannot catch up with him.
But I'm gonna be honest, Missy Leon. You're the landlord. You're making this claim. Burdens on you to know exactly what you're looking for and what you've been paid now.
Yeah, I'm just very, I'm very, I'm
You can't
just,
be bad in money and you collected money. That's bad for business.
yeah, I'm just very nervous. So at this time,
had
my
me a
Okay,
Very
well, don't worry about it. I'm gonna let you think about it. I'm gonna talk to Mr. Kendall, and you think about it while I talk to Mr. Kendall.
CJ, do you guys have flights? So like, can you go into the bar and buy like 4 tiny little beers, different beers, instead of one beer? Does that make sense? So we have 16 ounce. We have pints of beer you can get, or you can get a flight. So the little 5-ounce cups, you can get 5 different beers. I mean, 4 different beers, and it comes like, I guess it could come on anything. Ours come on the wooden board. You just get like a taster of all the beers, or 4 or 5 or 2. Do you have flights there?
So, Mr. Kendall, tell me, do you have a lease with Miss Leon for $700?
Yes, sir. Originally, the lease, I did sign a lease for $700 a month. She didn't tell you though. I was her yard man. I did 3 of her properties over the including where I stayed at. If she
That's what
took
I
out
want.
$50
I want that.
for each yard. I got to the point where she wanted it. Okay, the yard need to be cut twice a week. She got to the point where she baited me in. Then she started waiting to like a whole 3 weeks to a month, and when it supposed to be a 2 service, she wanted me to like cut it for $50. She waited to it grow up a whole month. I do owe her the balance of what she didn't tell you was the month before that I had paid into April. That's why she's getting confused. I had paid up on my rent. So when I went, because I try to pay up if something happened to me, if I get sick, I can have some leeway to fall back on. I did owe her $200 that went into that month in a sense. And let me explain that. That month, I started my own small company. I contract for myself. I drive trucks, a 26 footer, and I'd be out.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you gave her any money?
Was the month of April, and that was the month I fractured.
Well, this is the month of April. So April what?
I mean, not April. I apologize. It was for March.
Okay, when and how much?
I owed it $400 for March, and I zelled her $200 because I had paid into my rent the previous month. Like I paid extra on my rent. So when I went into March, I gave her $200 and I only owed her $200. And
did she send you a letter telling you that she wanted you to pay this money before she filed this action against you?
She kind of set me up for failure because of the fact that
against you.
She told me not to pay her the money, and I have the text that she told me not to pay her the $200. So I'm thinking that she's gonna have me mow her properties, the offset there, because it was time to mow her yard. The grass was like
okay. When did she tell you not to pay?
It was before she filed the eviction notice about.
Did she say? Okay, so this was in March. She told you not to pay.
Yes, sir. And her husband was like, they was giving me mixed emotions. I told her that I do plan on moving.
Well, one other thing, did she give you a letter? Okay, I don't know what that looks like.
That's the refrigerator that spoiled my food.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
hold tight.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, did she give you a letter like in January or February saying, hey, I don't want to rent to you no more. You got 60 days to go?
If she did, I didn't receive it.
You didn't receive it.
If she did, the warrant is the only thing that I received from the sheriff.
Okay, did she ever? Okay, Ms. Leon.
This is something. Your Honor, please, can I just say this one thing? She didn't start telling me that she wanted me to move. It was when I started asking her. I had been buying road spray. I got receipts. When I started challenging her about fixing the appliance, when I first moved there, the refrigerator was bad. It make your food spoil. I have pictures and everything. She kept telling me she was gonna fix it. So after a year, I'm like,
Refrigerator running.
so I'm like, at least pay me for my road spray because she owed me for a year back and I have receipts. She felt challenged. That's when she started telling me, well, you need a movie, you don't like it.
Okay, well, I got that.
Yes.
So Ms. Leon, I do see on the complaint you identified that he's violating the lease for like.
Why though? They're awesome. They're so good. And they're more beer than one beer because it's 5 ounces each. So that's 20 ounces of beer, not 16 ounces of beer like your friends are drinking. Pussies.
Like guns and drugs. Do you have any evidence of that? I didn't see any exhibits.
Yes, I do.
Where are they?
I have 3 different people evidence.
Okay, witnesses. Are these people here today?
Oh no, Your Honor. I have names. Ruferman. He's a roommate of the Mr.
Okay. And that's fine. But if they're not here, it won't be relevant for me to hear from them today. I guess I'm asking you this. You did accept some rent in March.
Oh my God. When I go into a bar, that's what I usually ask for. Do you sell pictures? Do you sell pictures? I didn't in Texas Fozzie because but that's the first thing I asked for. Wait, I don't have to wait for my second beer. Just bring me the picture, please.
And so when did you send him a demand of possession?
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, I did text him. I'm going to give a notice. I'm going to moving out notice January, February. I was going to give a 2 months notice, good enough. I want to find the place. I didn't physically send it to the paper, but
go ahead.
Oh, but I did text him. In the February, I said I want to give it 2 months, give a notice. This hopefully enough time you can find some place. And then
give him a demand of possession, though, not a 60-day notice. Demand of possession. And
then in the March month, and he came to my place. He want to pay. I said I'm not going to accept anymore.
And why was that? Because you believe you gave him a 60-day notice.
Oh yes, I told her
in a text. I see.
Yeah, March month, please find the girl. But I think the 3rd, 5th, he paid. He came by trying to pay the cash to my hand, but I was not available. I said, Candy, I told you already, I'm not going to accept it. Please find the place to move. And then he deposited the jail $200 anyway.
Did you give the money back to him?
I put into my jail. So I say, I'm going to please find the place to move on. Now you got the job, everything, move it. And then
Leon, you haven't yet told me when you sent the demand. This is what we're gonna do. Miss Leon, I know you've been here many times. I know you because you've had many tenants. And so I know you know what to do. Right? I know you know what to do. Telling me a lot of backstory when I know that you know exactly what needs to be said or not said.
I think she said I'm
not taking. So look, the case will be dismissed because you did demand possession and you took money in the same month. And I don't have any. You cannot send a 60-day notice by text message. That don't work.
Hello, Your Honor. I didn't accept. I told her, do not. I was not home. I said no. Then he texted me, and then no, I didn't accept this. After I fired the event.
No. I know you saying you didn't.
I didn't accept this, sir.
I know.
I didn't accept it. I know how that works. I didn't accept it.
I know you didn't accept any money afterwards.
I did fire on the what day I fired on it.
I understand.
In the March, but he deposited in the March and the 3rd or 5th.
But you still got to demand possession. If all of that goes into it, you don't demand.
I didn't accept it after I fired after I give a notice. I didn't accept any money. I know how that works. I didn't accept any money.
So one last thing.
So I love accents. I love all accents, all of them. And in my bar, I get people from everywhere, all over the world come in. And I don't know how to say this. I'm going to make everybody mad. And I don't care because it is just absolutely true. When I hear someone with an accent that speaks a different language, I don't mean like a British accent, because they speak English. I speak English. They didn't learn another language to talk to me. When I hear someone with an accent that speaks another language, immediately I assume they are way smarter than me, period. They are just way smarter than me. And they are. We have this beer called Sweat Equity. Sweat Equity. We've had it for 4.5 years now. It's an American IPA. It's delicious. Anyway, Americans don't know how to read those two words. They just absolutely have no idea how to read the words sweat equity. 70% of them call it sweet equity. And then a lot of them also call it sweet equality. Some of them call it sweat equality. They do not know how to read them. But when someone walks into my bar with an accent that you would hate it, Fozzie, don't even. They walk into my bar with an accent like hers, where I know she put in the effort to learn a whole ass new language to speak to me. They never, ever, ever read those words wrong. They always say to me, I would like a sweat equity. Americans, no, reading is way too hard. It's just too hard for them.
When did you give him the notice?
I give a notice. I have to find it.
Tell me when you gave him the notice.
I give a notice on the 9th. After that, I didn't receive any money for the
9th of what?
March.
Okay, and when did you give him? When did he give you the $200?
There was a March 4th, March 3rd, or March 5th. He deposited on my bank. I told him do not deposit. Then he told me.
Let me, Mr. Kendall, when did you give her that money in March?
March 3rd or 5th.
My rent is due on the 3rd, right? So I tried to attempt. I gave her one payment, and I was in the balance of $200. Remember, I told her.
Y'all like, why do y'all do that? I asked you, when did you give her the money? Just tell me the date.
It was around March the 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
Something like
Miss Leon, when did you give him a demand of possession, telling him that you ain't give me enough money?
On the 9th.
On the 9th. Yes. Mr. Kendall, did she give you a letter on the 9th saying?
No, sir, I don't recall getting.
Yeah, I have it here. I give you put under your door already. That's someone we called it.
This what I got right here.
Yeah.
This should the county court.
Yeah, that's what about?
Can you take the word appear out of there?
The county court, Ms. Leon?
That word
Yes,
out.
I did it. Let me I can find it. Can I find this stuff?
I'd like to look at it.
Let me find it here.
It's your last case.
Can you find it here? I have here.
I love this, Judge.
Can I say something briefly?
Sure.
Another thing, I really should be suing her for defamation of character. I'm in school, I'm in college, and then I never be at the house hardly. She's trying to say, like, she's trying to manipulate you to make you think that I'm a violent and bad person, which I'm not. She
can't manipulate me. I go by the facts.
Excuse me, somebody broke in my somebody went in my room twice when I was out of town. The door was unlocked and she was the only one who had the key.
Oh my God.
I never accused her of going in my
Leon,
room.
did you find that letter?
Yes. I'm
to
looking for here. Please.
That's not a yes. That's a no.
Let me keep on finding here, please. I have here.
How did you send it to him?
I did deliver by my hand.
You delivered it by hand?
Yes, I have here. March 12th.
March 12th?
Yes.
Okay, what's it say?
Okay, over here say and
how'd you send it to him?
Okay.
You said, okay, by hand. I'm sorry, you said you gave it to him by hand.
He was not home. I just put down there, I took a picture and then okay, over here say and
put it under the door. She said.
Did you get that? Did you get a demand? What did the say, Miss? What's it say?
I wasn't there.
Hold on, what did it say, Miss Leon? Because you said you gave it to him in his hand.
Oh, just not it.
That's not it. Well, if you said you found the date, but then you're now saying it's not it, that don't make no sense.
No. I have too many. I'm sorry.
All right. So listen. I've given you a good amount of time to find what you say you sent, particularly because you've admitted that you've taken some money in the month and it's less than the full amount. And you've argued that there's a different reason why you're trying to get him evicted, which I don't have any evidence supporting otherwise. And the witnesses that you say are essential are not here. So I've given you some time. I'm going to dismiss. Hopefully you guys can resolve. If not, I'll see you guys back. Okay,
No,
but I'm
don't
going to
miss.
dismiss the case, Miss Leon, because you haven't given me anything and I've waited quite a bit of time. So that's going to be the order of the court.
I did the file on the 9th, sir. Your Honor, I filed on 9th.
It's not about when you filed, it's about when you noticed, because you've taken money from him in the same month.
No,
in
I
which you-
didn't took a money.
But you
took a
never,
money, Your Honor.
I'm not.
I
gonna
know how
rehash
it works. I didn't took a money.
I know.
He I didn't took a money after I filed the eviction. I
I'm
didn't.
not, that's not what I'm saying. And
Mr.
you know,
Judge, man, please.
I'm
don't-
gonna let you guys go. The case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You guys back
Thank
in
you.
court if need be.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your morning. The
Yes, sir.
rest
I gotta
of it.
go back.
Fozzie, thank you. That was pretty good. That was really good. I really like that judge a lot. Okay, hold on. We're going to go with Court Cam TV official. Let me put this link in my description. This one is from Brandy. Brandy gave us this one. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you so much for putting this in the videos and letting me cheat today. Cheat. So apparently she got 10 DUIs. Look, it says so right there. I'm not spoiling anything because it just says so right there. 10 DUIs. What the hell? Okay, here we go.
Cause number 24, DCCR 0122, State of Texas versus Catherine Welch. Ma'am, are you Catherine Welch? Yes, Your Honor. And Ms. Welch is here with her attorney, Mr. Gertz. State's attorney is present. Ms. Welch was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to driving while intoxicated, third or more, as well as a prior offense, which made it a second-degree felony offense. There was no agreement with regard to punishment. I have received the pre-sentence report, and has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
We have, Judge.
Are there any additions or corrections to that report?
Not from the state, other than I want to acknowledge I have received Mr. Gertz's sentencing memorandum.
I'm going to get to that too in just a second. Any additions or corrections?
Aside from the one comment that I make in the sentencing memoranda about a comment that she made about rehabilitation, I think it's more of a clarification, so I'm happy to touch on that. But other than that, we don't have any additions or corrections.
Okay. And Ms. Malfino has already stated, as well as I have received the sentencing memorandum at 5:47 p.m. yesterday. Going to point that out for the record.
The Harris County judge got her sentencing memoranda at midnight. So.
Well,
shut up, Debbie.
It was reviewed quite early this morning, but I did review it. Ms. Malfino, you've had time to review it.
See, it didn't take long. This is why I hate playing YouTube judges. This is why. Those words. Oh, I've seen this one. No one ever says that on my channel, ever, unless I'm playing YouTube judges. No one ever says, I saw this. This is crazy. I saw this is what's about to happen.
It as well.
Same.
Okay.
When
Other than that, I think you all should have a couple. There's only a few, but there were some jail incident reports that should have been provided to council. Did you both receive those as well?
Yes.
Okay. Is everyone ready to proceed with sentencing then?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Gertz, do you have witnesses?
I'm not going to call any live witnesses unless the court requires it. When we have a person present from the Dream Center, if the court wants to inquire about that, I would essentially let her come up and talk if you want to have that conversation. But
okay.
I think, our focus here is going to be on the topics that we talk about or write about in the sentencing memo. And, just sort of allowing, if the court decides to do what we're asking you to do, we are open and welcome to whatever the court requires of her to enter and successfully complete. We just wanted you to have that option on the table as well. That it's an option that doesn't cost the court anything.
Can you hear me? Thank God. Oh my God. I don't want no echoing going on here. I apologize for that interruption. Trying to breathe through it. Okay. I don't know what you missed. So I'm just going to go back to 2 minutes. I didn't kill any of them. You know what my internet company did to be helpful? They put the power cord way deep up into this box so that you can't pull it out, but the cords down low. So the cats pulled it out and I couldn't put it back in because it's way up in this box. So I just ripped it off real quick. I hope I didn't break anything, but there's power to it now. Oh, I got my ears. Here we go.
From the Dream Center, if the court wants to inquire about that, I would essentially let her come up and talk if you want to have that conversation. But
Okay.
I think, our focus here is going to be on the topics that we talk about or write about in the sentencing memo. And, just sort of allowing, if the court decides to do what we're asking you to do, we are open and welcome to whatever the court requires of her
Sure.
to enter and successfully complete. We just wanted you to have that option on the table as well. That
Okay.
it's an option that doesn't cost the court anything. Or
Right.
the state anything.
And for the record, I'm aware of the Dream Center and their program and what they do. And so if I have any specific questions, if we get to something where I would need that, then I appreciate them being here and I'll ask those questions. Ms. Malfino, does the state have any witnesses? All right, then argument.
Judge, I want to, I recognize this is a unique case and a unique ask that we're making here. This is not something small that we're asking for. I have sort of personally taken Catherine on over the last 3+ years, I guess almost 4 years, as a project for me, if that makes any sense. And what I mean by that is I really wanted to put to the test, could this person do everything that I asked her to do to at least get her an opportunity to be here in front of you asking what we're asking for? She exceeded my expectations by doing the 90-day inpatient rehabilitation. And while she was there, she started to explore with her counselors and her therapists there some of the underlying issues that went beyond just physical addiction, but actually had to do with her mental health and some of the things that she's experienced in her life. I'm not going to detail them on the record, but the court is aware of what those things are.
It is in the
incredibly traumatic events that I think she had repressed and had never really addressed and explored. And so those counselors recommended not just aftercare, but a specific outpatient program to address some of the trauma issues that she's had. She went and checked into that program, stayed for basically a year, and again, did everything we asked her to do. When I told her to go get her own drug patch, I told her to go get her own interlock device. She did all of that. Those records should be attached to the memo. She was successful, has been following the rules, doing everything we've asked her to do, had been going to AA, had gotten a counselor, actually reached out and befriended the director of the Dream Center to try to figure out what she can do next to sort of commit herself to her sobriety and to fixing the mental health issues that I think stem from the challenges that she faced as a young person. Sometimes it's easy to look at one side of the ledger, the rap sheet or the criminal history, and think that defines this person. What I have been fortunate enough to do is to really dig down and get to understand her as a human, and see that all the progress she's made, all the effort she's made, and see what she's done well and all the problems that she's been addressing well. She's obviously very anxious about this day, but we've been looking forward to this day as well to be able to present that. And I want to go down on the bottom of page 2, address what I was talking about in the CSI. So that I'm not saying that this wasn't the words that came out of her mouth, but when she was asked by one of the examiners in the probation,
I saw it was there. I didn't
report,
see it yet.
She felt she needed treatment. She said she didn't feel like she needed treatment. She wasn't opposed either. I want to clarify what we mean by that. And I say this here, but what she would say, I think, is she did 90 days of detox rehab related treatment, has continued aftercare, has continued mental health care. But in terms of going to a program that is specifically targeted at people who are currently using or currently intoxicated, I think she thought that wasn't the direction that would be ideal. She will do whatever you want her to do, but I wanted to explain what that comment means. And so,
Shed, how about not drinking and driving? Can she do that after the first one, maybe?
because a lot of times, as you know, Judge, private rehabilitation programs will just reject you if you've been clean for 3+ years, as she has. And so they just won't even accept you at all.
She doesn't.
So I think that was just a
Nope.
misunderstanding or a miscommunication between the probation officer and Catherine. But nonetheless, she's willing to do whatever the court chooses here. Additionally, we've been in contact with her current parole officer. They are willing to keep her on parole instead of revoking her.
Oh, hell no.
Depending on what the court does here.
If this woman gets parole, I'm going to
And,
lose it.
and so that was encouraging as well. I think we had the same kinds of conversations with them about her recovery and about her efforts. And so I think that was an encouraging sign from them. And then finally, Judge, you see, we didn't want to focus too much on support from the community because, again, this isn't just a run-of-the-mill case. This is a different focus. But she is married. She has a family. She recognizes the impact that all of this has had on her family and her relationship.
Her family? What about the people on the road that she could kill? What about those families?
Relationships, the strain it has put on her husband, both financially and also emotionally. And she accepts responsibility for that and is asking the court to consider this extremely rare position that we're asking the court to take here. Obviously, if the court would like her to address the court, she is happy to do that, or I'm not sure how you can proceed on that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Melfino?
Judge, I don't envy the position that the court is in this morning. I do take very seriously the comments of Mr. Burks. I take him at his word for that, and I hope that all of those things are true. It's difficult for me as a representative of Jefferson County and the state and the citizens that are on the roads every day to stand up and say, I agree with probation, but I don't disagree with the things that Mr. Burks has said and the information that is in his sentencing memo. To play the other side of the coin, does it suggest that she received the benefit of the doubt already by me waiving the habitual status that she could have been facing based on her number of priors? Does it seem in good conscience that I can say I ignore all of those priors? Absolutely not. But obviously, we have seen that her multiple trips to the penitentiary have resulted in no change of behavior until hopefully now in these last 3 years. And I do sympathize with Ms. Welch as an individual. Again, it's hard for me as a district attorney, assistant district attorney, to say that I concur with the punishment being probation, but I don't, again, disagree with the comments that Mr. Gertz has. We've had multiple conversations about this case. I know.
Love. love, please, please stop it. You are not in the position to sympathize with her. That's not your job right now. Your job is to sympathize with, the people who die from drunk drivers.
He's worked very diligently at it. I don't really know, Judge, and that's why it's before you, that putting her in prison for 20 years and her getting out in 2 versus an extensive probation period where she can continue the recovery she's been doing is a better option. But again, I don't know what is in the best interest of public safety. Unfortunately, none of us do. So
yes, you do.
I would defer to the court's wisdom and whatever you think is appropriate based on the volume.
Oh, don't worry. I bet she got this.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
Would you like to say something, Judge?
No, we don't want to hear from her.
Your Honor, I just want to say that the past was fueled by drugs and alcohol. I take complete responsibility for that. I did not know from very young when things happened in my life that it could have been, some of it could have been treated and stopped earlier if I had gotten help for my mental health. That after I received this DWI, that helped me get myself to a place that I could go into a treatment program and deal with some of those past traumas. In the past, I didn't. I medicated and drank to just forget about the pain, just numb myself out. I didn't know how else to deal with that until when I got on my mental health meds, and I have bipolar, I have PTSD, and my mind back then was very chaotic. And I just want to say, after I had my mental
Maiko, can you please leave psychology to the professionals? Yeah, thanks.
health meds, I was able to go through treatment at Santa Maria in Houston, and that place really saved my life. I did extensive 90-day treatment with trauma counselors. It was a trauma-informed community there. And also, when I completed that, I worked an outpatient program, but I still lived on their facility. I went to the sex trafficking and recovery program, and I was in that for about 8 months, where I got the state paid for the counseling for trauma still. And I just worked really hard in that. I got a job while I was in there. And then once that program was over, I moved to a sober living facility, in Oxford House in Spring, and I worked there. And so I felt like I was strong enough to come home and do what I needed to do. And I was in the complete program for right out of here. And I'm sorry, I'm very nervous today. And I know that my past record is, like Ryan said, atrocious. But you know, the things that I had to deal with within myself from when I was a little girl, those are things that you don't go to prison, even in their programs there, that you don't talk about. It's just, you just don't. And I'm asking you, please do not send me back to prison. I want to move forward. I have moved forward in my life, and this year that I've been in jail has given me more time to think and know that I am definitely headed in the right direction. I have a sponsor. I attend AA at home. I had moved on with my life as far as I could with my sobriety. I mean, I knew this charge was out there. And I think I made some really good choices with my Mid-County AA friends. They've helped me a lot. and I am open to anything. I will abide by all the rules and do anything that's asked of me. And I think, I know now that I'm responsible and capable of taking care of my business and my life.
Thank you. So, Ms. Welch, Ms. Malfino probably said it yet best, and I get this often, and they don't envy my position, and this is the worst part of my job. But I worked hard to get here, and it's my job. Part of my job, it's several things, and it's to look at, obviously defendants and giving chances and things like that, but it also is about making our community safe. And I have to look back. This is your 10th DWI. It's not your 5th. It's not your 8th. It's the 10th. And while I understand the trauma that you went through, that you've been to SAFE 3 times. You've been given opportunities on probation where they were revoked. You've had opportunities while you were on parole to do what you have done now. And while I appreciate what you've done, and I think that's great, and my goal isn't to, to stop any improvement, but I can't, in my opinion, in good faith, go home tonight, look myself in the mirror and say I gave somebody on their 10th DWI, that your last sentence was for 15 years in prison. The one before that was for 10. The one before that, you've gone to another 10 year back in 09. I mean, this goes back to the 90s. You got a 10-year sentence in 2011. While you're on parole for that one, you get another one. So they give you 15 years and you get out and you're on parole and you do it again. The fact is, we're just lucky that you haven't killed someone in our community 9 times over, being given opportunities. I just can't do it. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find and your plea of true to the prior offense. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of driving while intoxicated. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 18 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. You're going to be handed a trial court certification that shows this was not, well, I guess there was an agreement because the waiver of the enhancement, which could have been a 25 to life, as Mr. Gertz said. So I'm going to hand you the certification that shows this was an agreement. You've waived your right to appeal. I'm also handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession, because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. You should read the written admonishment I provide you. If you have any questions about that, you can talk to Mr. Gertz. And Ms. Welch, I take no pleasure in this. This is extremely difficult for me. I understand to some extent addiction, and I understand that you are on a better path. However, there have been plenty of opportunities in the past where you were on a better path and you got back out and you got back on our roads again. And so good luck to you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Gertz and Ms. Malfino. Court will be adjourned.
I don't know. Beaumont. Hi, Lorraine. I have no idea. It is not freezing. It is just not. It's 40 some degrees. We could go swimming right now. It feels great. All right. We're going to go to, should I play that video Fozzie of the oh, that's the wrong. Should I play that video of, all right, I'm gonna play a video that Kelly picked, and then you need to tell me if you want me to play the Bell video that you were talking about. The two. So I'm thinking you're talking about the last one that you put in.
Watch this episode to the end.
Okay, so we're going to Court Off the Record Best of USA. Let me give you the link. Kelly found this one. Thank you, Kelly.
And you'll find out two things. The first is whether or not the main reason why I find the sovereign citizen defense such a pathetic joke is the same as yours. And the second thing you'll find out is why Kevin looks like this and why his lawyer looks like that. Welcome to Off the Record. Today I have a lesson in feelings. Whose feelings? Here I shall show you. This is Kevin. Kevin is wanting bond for his crime. And what's his crime? Well, that would be that he is a sexual predator. He attacks worse than the monsters in any Sumerian myth. So, whose feelings? Wait, it's coming. And the thing about this type of crime is that whatever comes out of their mouth is going to be crud, and that whatever he places up for a defense, you know, is going to be a joke. And what defense did crud place up? Well, I'll let him explain.
What's his name? The beneficiary.
That AI was awesome. Come on, that AI was great. What did he say?
Beneficiary. Yeah, first name, Mr. Beneficiary.
Are you stating that the trust that we are administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust? If so,
I'm asking what your name is.
My name is the beneficiary of the trust.
Of whose trust?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor?
Okay, I'm gonna recall him. Bring up somebody else. Put him aside. We'll call him at the end.
Thank you, Judge.
Kevin is a sovereign citizen. That's his go-to defense. And the thing about those feelings, whose feelings? The sovereign citizen's feelings. Their feelings when they see this and think in their minds that this perv can't use that. They're just bullshitting to get out of a charge.
That is exactly how the voices in my head sound.
That feeling that they have towards this mug for trying to be a sovereign to get out of jail free card are the same feelings that people have towards all mugs that use the Sov in court. For it is as ridiculous now in this case with Kevin as it is every time this non-defense is used to disrupt the court and its proceedings. This is not to say that using the Sov defense does not mean that you are a pervert. What it means is that they're a mug that is bullshitting so as to get the card to get out of jail free. That's the defense. Kevin's defense. And since he's back, he can take it from here.
Sir, is your name the beneficiary Kevin Teron Anthony Pollard? Yes or no?
Oh, guess what? I'm making more videos of, guys. Guess what? I'm going to incorporate into my videos from now on because that was awesome. That was so good.
I'm the beneficiary of the trust, Your Honor. Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust?
Are you Kevin Pollard? I'm asking you.
Is the trust that we are now administrating?
Sir, I ask the questions here. You give me yes or no answers.
You're asking for my permission to
ask the questions. You give the answers. Is that clear?
It's very clear.
Okay, listen.
Yes.
Are you also known by the name of Kevin Pollard amongst other names? Yes or no?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor? If so, Kevin Pollard is in fact present today. It is you that is Kevin Pollard, Your Honor. It is you.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor. It is you. That is Kevin Pollard. Yes, Your Honor. You are Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor. I am the beneficiary.
And then who are you?
I am the beneficiary of the trust.
Okay, well, Mr. Beneficiary, take you and your trust back to jail.
So Kevin's tactic seems to be going to plan.
I have some questions for the clerk, Your Honor.
No.
I have, can I speak to the clerk before we go any further?
You know what? I'm put you in timeout. Get your mind right.
Now, as we wait for Kevin to get back, what I would like to know is what is their argument? Whose argument? Let me explain. The sovereign citizen is arguing that they should be held exempt from being able to commit crimes, especially the one that they are charged with. And that's their argument, that they're a sovereign citizen, crimes don't apply. And what that also means is that they are also in agreement that Kevin here should be allowed to.
You know what? I should pause this video here because y'all need to get your mind right. We all need a second. We all need a second to get our minds right.
To do the same. That
Move
is
my
their
hand.
argument, that the crimes that Kevin is charged with
Move my
should be dropped.
head.
And that is something
Head.
that the people
I know
who
how to
use
read.
the sovereign citizen defense,
That better?
that they should really know so that they can explain to the rest of us their argument, because the rest of us don't feel that fucking way at all.
Mr. Pollard?
Yes, sir. Can I have the clerk present? Please, Your Honor.
Don't give in.
Please have the clerk present in the Zoom meeting.
You know what? If you answer my questions, I'll consider it.
Okay. What's the question?
What's your name?
The beneficiary.
All right, Mr. Beneficiary, put you back in timeout.
Kevin here is about to meet the worst thing a SOV citizen can run into, the process.
All right, beneficiary. I'm going to give you another chance in front of another magistrate.
That's no problem. Can I have the clerk present, please?
Ozzy, I wasn't paying attention.
Sir,
Did you want me to play that video?
I'm Magistrate Chartea.
Excuse
DDC.
me? Yeah.
I'm talking to the DDC officer.
Yes.
DDC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The gentleman that is in front of the screen, in front of camera one, what name do you have him listed as?
Kevin Pollard.
Do you have a middle name?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a Kevin Pollard. Okay, and sir, you're identified as Kevin Pollard, but you're considering yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct, sir?
Are we on the record?
We are. Everything is on the record.
Okay, are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, ma'am?
I'm not administrating any trust because there is no trust in front of me. But what I'm asking you is, you call yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem. I have case number is 240-5538101. People of the state of Michigan versus Kevin Theron Anthony Pollard, who
Your
is
Honor,
listed by DDC as Kevin Pollard. However, the gentleman has identified himself as the
You are
beneficiary.
you representing as Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor.
Mr.
Not me.
Pollard,
I'm not.
Mr. Pollard, now as your counsel, I am going to advise that you stop speaking and allow the judge to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel Kirkland.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Shava Kirkland on behalf of Mr. Pollard, who has been advised of his rights, which is to stand mute and waive the formal reading.
Thank you. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty.
The
Court
look
dates
on this
are.
clown's face says it all, that the tactic of interfering with judicial process so as to delay the process of natural justice, so it breaches the right of a speedy trial, the sovereign citizen defense, has collapsed. So now that this clown realizes that the process of him being found guilty of being a sicko is now moving forwards.
February 2nd, 2024. It is a probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, February 8th, 1:30 p.m. Both
Your
matters are
Honor,
in front of Judge King.
I'm
The
asking
probable
a
cause
question.
conference, it is at 8:30 in the morning. Mr.
Your Honor,
Beneficiary,
and
Mr.
you are on
Beneficiary,
record.
you should not go into the court.
You
I
are
thank you
under
very
oath.
much.
You are under oath and you are on record. And I'm asking you,
Beneficiary, I have not sworn you under oath. I am under oath, so I am doing all this. I'm gonna enter a plea of
You're-
not guilty. I already
you're
given the
under-
court dates while this case is pending, sir. Okay, there
Your
should be
Honor,
no
you are
contact
not allowed
with the
to-
individual.
You are not allowed to state what the judgment is. That is my
Mr.
job, Your
Pollard,
Honor.
Mr. Pollard, I do want to let you know that the person.
Okay.
I have a
All right,
question for
you're
the
not-
clerk.
Okay.
I have a question
DDC,
for
please
the
wait
clerk.
for a moment.
I have a question for the clerk.
You will give an opportunity, sir. You will give an opportunity. Let me finish. While this case is pending, there's no contact with that means no person contact, no contact with third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. The people, go ahead, Esteban.
Yeah, the people are asking for $250,000 cash bond, no cash, no surety. If he's able to ever post bond, we'd like GPS tether with home arrest. The defendant, Your Honor, has a continuing situation where he entices young girls on the internet from Arizona in this particular case, and previously on 10/23/2023 in another case where he enticed people. He's been arrested 3 different times for criminal sexual conduct. The first case, he was found not guilty back on 5/15/2015. The 10/21/2023 case, where he was criminal sexual conduct first degree and also contributing alcohol to a minor, 2 counts of that, was at the exam dismissed without prejudice. My belief in all that is because these victims all live out of state. In our particular case we have here today, Your Honor, the victim is from Arizona. She came here after having a relationship, not the victim, but one of the witnesses came here after having a 3-year relationship with this defendant on the internet. When she turned 18, she came to visit. And also Mr. Pollard introduced her to another girl who is also from Arizona. The other girl brought her niece or her, I forgot the relationship, but her 7-year-old niece with her to visit Mr. Pollard.
Like I said, there isn't any argument in the world now, before or in the future, that it's okay to make their crimes go away. If they use the SOV defense, then they are arguing that Kevin here should be allowed to too. And that's an argument that they are never going to win.
And what happened then, because the person was tired from traveling, she fell asleep in the living room. When she woke up, she went into the bedroom, and there was Mr. Pollard with the 7-year-old girl. He then said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, we're playing video games." So the woman, the adult in the room, she falls asleep again. And then she is awakened by the 7-year-old girl and asked to leave. The 7-year-old girl then tells her mother that Mr. Pollard touched her, rubbed her, he says, okay? He said, accidentally is what he's trying to tell us what happened. The situation is she's told, the 7-year-old child has told Ted Talk that he did this. He's told Protective Services that he did this. And as far as I'm concerned, Judge, he fits the category of a predator because he did the same thing in the 10/23/2023 case of enticing young people from other parts of the country, perhaps, I don't know where exactly, to come and see him on the internet. So we're asking for $250,000 cash bond, no surety, and GPS tether if he's ever be able to post bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. One question, Council Ragnan.
Yes.
Does he have any pending cases?
Not that I know of, Your Honor. The 10/23 case, 10/21/2023 case has been dismissed without prejudice at the exam, and I couldn't find out it was because if the witness was out of town or what the problem was. But
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Council Kirkland, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask this court, understanding the seriousness of these charges, for a 10% bond if this court is not inclined to do a high personal bond, So one, I know the bulk of Brother Counsel's argument was this dismissed case from last year. I'd ask that this court sentence him based on these allegations and the facts and details surrounding this case. This is a 2020 case. And the woman that he met was 20 years old, or that came to see him was a 20-year-old woman, was not an underage woman. And the allegation is that she brought her, I believe, goddaughter to the home.
Unbelievable that there is any adult that would bring a child to someone they met on the internet to hook up with. Then they should be locked up as well.
Now, there are different variations because a couple different stories are told as to what occurred there. But Mr. Pollard has maintained that he didn't actually assault the little girl. I'm not sure why this case wasn't charged until 2024, but it is a 4-year-old case. My understanding is that he, I don't believe he's had any convictions since then. He is a lifelong resident, has a child, so he has strong ties to the community. He also owns a lawn service here. At this point, there's no amount of bond that he can't afford to pay, so even a 10% bond would be unaffordable for him. But given the age of this case and his lack of issues since this, I'd ask that this court consider a high personal bond, if not that, a 10% bond.
Thank you. I've heard the representations from both sides in this particular matter in reference to the beneficiary who is listed by the court or by DDC as Kevin Pollard, is that in this particular matter, even though this is from 2020, okay, there was a forensic interview, Kids Talk, with the victim, and she disclosed that she was touched by the defendant and that he rubbed her with his hand. This court is not considering the other cases that were dismissed. They were dismissed without prejudice, okay? This court is only going with this matter. In reference to this gentleman, the defendant, bond is going to be $250,000 cash. There's going to be a GPS tether, home arrest. Further, okay, it's going to be unaffordable. So today is Friday. He's going to get another court date. Today is the 26th, January 29th, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConicle, who's going to be looking at the bond amount and bond conditions. Also, there is one.
Oh, McConicle is going to get him. Oh my God. I wish I would have seen it.
Other thing, this court looks at clear and convincing evidence standard, okay, based on the representation, based on the reading. This court is convinced that Mr. Pollard, okay, I'm sorry, the beneficiary, okay, that he is a predator in this particular matter. That's why we're putting at $250,000 cash, GPS tether, house arrest. He does have the, again, the unaffordable bond redetermination for this Monday, January 29th, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConicle. Also, there's another bond condition. He's not to be around any minor children. That concludes the arraignment of the beneficiary, also known as Kevin Pollard. Madam Clerk.
Pre-trial, Your Honor.
No, I was talk to the gentleman that's in front of the screen.
Judge.
Okay. Just so for the record is that the clerk has declined to talk to the gentleman in front of the screen.
That is not fair.
Keep an eye on this guy's lawyer. As you can see, she's not arguing on his behalf because she's not crud. And as you will see, she finds him and the sovereign citizen argument the same as we do.
Thank you. That is not fair. You cannot do this. Under oath and on record, you cannot do this. I have rights, and you violated them, and you was not my judge.
Okay, you can go. Go ahead and do whatever.
You cannot do that.
She just did, dipshit. And you can see by Kevin's reaction how he really, really needs for the sovereign defense to work, as that is his only defense he has, as he doesn't say anything about having evidence to refute these disgusting charges, just the solve defense and where Kevin is going. And with what he's done, he really, really needs the sovereign citizen defense to work. And that is why you can hear panic in his wailing. It's a beautiful sound. In fact, it's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Okay.
And now that the original judge is back, Kevin thinks he still might have a chance to hold up the proceedings if only his voice can be heard and he gets that reaction from the judge. But really the reaction you should watch is his lawyer, as she sums it up beautifully for us all.
I asked
I'm sorry?
Can we have those dates again? We couldn't hear them.
Over the dates?
February 2nd, February 8th.
February 2nd, February 8th.
As
Body
the clerk
determination Monday.
administrator of this QV trust account that she are.
Huh? What you say?
And that is how they ended up looking like that. The sovereign citizen defense, the joke of the judicial system. And with that said, to my subscribers that are here, my community, so to speak, let me know what you think about my thought that for me, one of the bigger negatives that I have towards the people that use the self-defense is that if they really believe that they are exempt from the law, then they are okay with Kevin using it for the same purpose. And for me, that's the biggest problem they have when it comes to their argument that the sovereign citizen defense should be used by pedos to get the get out of jail free card.
Okay, we're going to do one more. This is Fozzie. I don't know if he said I can play it or not. I asked a couple times, but I don't think I watched to see the answer. So I'm just going to play it. Ready?
Hello, everybody. This is Fozzie.
Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? No, the cats didn't. Oops, I got to move myself. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind right here on camera. It's a freaking short, internet. It is a short. You can play a short.
Hello, everybody. This is Fozzie. Every once in a while, you meet somebody online. Now, screw all that. I made a gift for Bill that I wanted to share with everyone. I think it's going to be, I think he's going to love it. I think it's the perfect gift for Bill. I made him a hairbrush.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though. That's really cool.
That's all I got.
That's awesome. Quit picking on Bill, yo. Hey, don't pick on Bill. Bill, if I knew that he was going to pick on you, I wouldn't have played that. I lie so hard. I just lied to everybody. Prove it. Bill, I really would never have played that. Had I known that the Fozzie was going to pick on you. I am Bill Henderson. All right, guys, I think I didn't. I'm an idiot. Redirect, done, save. Okay. Thank you for coming out today. All you people who posted videos in there, Dan, I would have used yours, but there's no link and I couldn't get it. I couldn't. But thank you for those videos. They were really great. I forgot how great the YouTube judges really are. In a few seconds, a bunch of you are going to pop over to OJ. The rest of you are going to log out and maybe go to sleep. Have a great day, guys. See ya.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales waiting to the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's love.